changed different now, got the cheat code. A lot of y'all just watching, you ain't got the cheat code. Can't stay the same, yeah, you gotta switch it up. Can't stay the same, yeah, you gotta switch it up. Game changed different now, got the cheat.
All right, welcome back to the Goddess Giselle Podcast. I'm your host, Goddess Giselle. Thank you so much for being here. And if you're new to my channel, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. I created this space as a platform to shed light on women making an impact in their communities. I feel like there's so many dope women out here, and sometimes we just don't have a space to talk. I'm so sorry. We don't have space to talk about ourselves and what we have going on. So that is the purpose of this particular conversation. So today I have Chef Simone Byron here with us. And before we get started, if you could go ahead and tell us, welcome to the channel, first of all. Hello.
Thank you for having me. Congratulations to you too on the platform.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I am just so inspired. Like, I've been in the industry of media for years. Like, this is my career path. And believe it or not, I had a podcast back in 2012.
Oh, okay.
So before this was even so popular, I was there doing it then. But I will be honest, Chef Simone, I stopped. I quit. I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. And it says something about consistency, because imagine where I could have been had I kept it going before it became popping.
You know what's for you is for you. No mistakes, though.
That's true. Okay.
Yes,
Thank you for that. And it's like, I have no regrets, but listen, I'm glad to be back on air. And I remember when YouTube started back, I'll say 2011, 2012, I was like, oh, I need to get a YouTube channel. I need to do it. But I didn't do it. I didn't do it. I was afraid. I'll be honest. And because of that, it did cost me some time. But like you just said, with the right time and the right place, everything happened for a reason. Exactly. So, Chef, all right, now we're finna turn this thing up. So, go ahead and tell everybody your name, your location, what you do for a living, and family life. So, if you have pets or children, a person, anything like that, and because we do get a little personal.
Okay. Well, I'm Chef Simone Byron. I am the founder and president of several entities. One being the Navigate Foundation, which is a nonprofit here in Atlanta and also in Charlotte, and soon expanding to a national level. And then I am the co-founder of the Navigate Academy, which is located in Tucker, Georgia, which is, you know where Tucker is. It's right outside of Stone Mountain, east of Atlanta. So, and then also the owner of Dishful Catering. And I also own a hospitality consulting company. So, I got a lot going on, a lot of different avenues. And I am the proud mother of a 17-year-old, a senior in high school at Tucker High School, Cameron, and the host of a very large family. So I am really the only woman in my immediate family. So yeah, I handle a lot of boys. So yeah, I'm tough.
Okay.
Tough to say the least. But yeah, that's my family aspect and my work aspect. So of course there's lots that goes into all of that. So
yes.
Yeah.
That is so awesome. Now, Chef Simone, are you originally from Atlanta?
I'm from Cleveland.
Cleveland, Ohio.
Yeah. My rest of my family's from upstate New York, Ithaca.
Okay.
Yeah, my mom is from Queensbridge. My dad is from South Bronx. And then I was the only one born in Cleveland. So
nice.
Yeah.
How long have you been here in Atlanta?
I'm from Atlanta. Like somebody
exactly.
asked where you from. I'm from Atlanta, but I still gotta claim Cleveland because I got my Midwest roots there. So from Cleveland, but I've been in Atlanta since '90. So I've been here for the heydays.
Okay.
I was here for Freaknik and all of that. Yeah, I was here for all of that. So I can claim.
To meet people who was here when Atlanta was Atlanta, like
that's
when Atlanta got its stripes, right?
Yes.
Oh my God!
Pre-Olympics.
Exactly. So how has the city changed to you? Like, let's start there. Like, fun. How has the city changed? Like, in your opinion?
Of course, the first thing people want to talk about is the traffic, right? They want to talk about Atlanta traffic, but there's traffic for a reason. The traffic is people have flocked here to pick up the energy. I do a lot of traveling in the Southeast, and Atlanta is the one place that you come and you see very productive and forward-thinking, positive Black folks, right?
Yeah.
In this area. You can go to any other southern city and you almost feel like there's a tension there, there's an anxiety there, and you see another Black person, you're like, oh, you don't, are we speaking, are we not speaking, right? Like, but in Atlanta, it's like everybody's ever, the energy's up, the diversity is great, even the other people of other racial backgrounds are just totally different, right? It's a whole different conversation. Atlanta is a space to coexist.
Mm-hmm.
There's been a lot of underlining things that has happened in Atlanta, just as far as diversity is concerned. It's home to a lot of headquarters, Coca-Cola, Delta,
Mm-hmm.
Home Depot. A lot of companies come here to roost because there's so much great energy here, and then the concentration of colleges and universities in the area is crazy. Look at the AUC.
Yep.
Then you're talking about Georgia Tech, and you have GSU and Oglethorpe and Mercer and Georgia Perimeter. All these, these stations of young people. It's like the energy is crazy. So Atlanta for me was a great place to grow up. It was a great place to be a kid and, be able to see so many great things happen. It's productive. I love Atlanta. And it's just saturated. It's saturated. Yep. And then that happens with every large city. Look at Chicago, New York, LA, Miami. They're, this is saturated. People come for the energy. So you're going to deal with that. But I think Atlanta is in a great space. And I think there's other places I think I might want to go, but I think I always have a home here. I think I always have
I love that. And I agree. And I'm a part of that group that flocked here. So I grew up in North Alabama, and like growing up, Atlanta was popping when I was growing up. So I had an uncle, he lived here at one time. I had an aunt that lived here. We have family here in Georgia. So I always just knew like, okay, Atlanta is on my radar. Right. And so when I got of age, I actually came here for school, for grad school at Kennesaw State. Kennesaw State. Look, you named everyone, and then that was the last one. It was Kennesaw.
I got to stop doing that because Kennesaw is up the road. You know what I'm saying? Kennesaw up the street. We're not really thinking about that, but
what you say? That's not Atlanta.
More and more reputable. I got it. And it's a great school. It's a great school. Several people that go to Kennesaw and had a great experience. So let me take that back. Kennesaw. Right, let me name.
Listen, I came here for grad. So undergrad, I went to school in Alabama, but in grad, I came here because similar to you, I knew I needed to be in a metro city for the energy, because I am that energy, and I'm like, girl, I'm trying to be around like minds. And I found myself in Atlanta, and I really just been hitting the ground running ever since. So I really love Atlanta because you can make your dreams come true. It's not some fantasy. And what you said about other cities in the Southeast, oh my God, that is so true. That is valid. It's almost like you're in a different timeline, like a Twilight Zone.
Yes.
We went somewhere recently, Savannah, Georgia, and we had a great time.
Yep.
My husband said, like, why everybody acting like we on Get Out? Like they were treating us like we belong there, but they couldn't believe. I'm not talking about people that look like us, not everybody else, but the people that look like us, Black folks. They were kind of taken aback by us being there as guests and enjoying the luxury. They don't know what that looks like. They don't know. And I'm like, in Atlanta, it is common. It's the norm. It's
commonplace, right?
Yes. And so it's just been really cool. But now I feel like we're moving into a global economy where everyone's thinking well, not everyone, but we're going to have to reposition our thought process to thinking global and thinking bigger. Yes. And so with that, I love how you mentioned diversity, because Atlanta is a pretty international city. Even though it might seem like it's just a lot of Black folks, it's a lot of different cultures represented here.
Yes.
So Chef Simone, let's rewind. Okay. I think you named 4 businesses.
I think I did. Yeah.
4 businesses. But obviously your name is Chef Simone. So where we started with cooking, is that that's where it is? That the cornerstone, or talk to me about how you came up with the name Chef Simone. Like, let's get into this food stuff because, like, y'all got me hungry this weekend, and Adiola was on here talking about food. So, talk to me. Let's start with Chef Simone. When did she become who she is today? Like, where did that start?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how far back to peel the onion for this one. My whole family is deeply rooted in hospitality, in culinary arts. My great grandfather was the executive chef for the Black Star Line, which is the Marcus Garvey cruise ship. It was the Back to Africa movement. And so also owned the first Black catering company in Bronx, New York. And so,
wow.
My father grew up in the hospitality business, grew up working within the catering company, working, as a server, a prep cook, those types of things. But his father, saved up money for him to be able to participate in sports and go to school and things like that. So, this is something that's in my blood. And high school, kind of top of my class, made great grades, went to a great high school here in Atlanta. But my mom and my parents were not the most excited about me wanting to go into hospitality and culinary arts. So, the plan was for me to go. My older brother went to Cornell. My other brother went to Morehouse. So it was like, oh, you're the youngest, you're only girl. What are we going to do? So let's follow the trend. So wanting to go to a tech school was not exactly the mold, right? But it was something I really wanted to do. Expectation was that I got a bachelor's degree no matter what I did. So went to Art Institute here in Atlanta, and did some study abroad in Switzerland and Italy. Had a really great experience in culinary school, and then went on to get my bachelor's in culinary arts management. Worked for Disney for a while, and with ESPN Zone. I don't know how long you've been here, but ESPN Zone was in Buckhead, and now ESPN Zone was the place to be. Okay, so there's some true Atlanta chefs and servers and vets that worked at ESPN Zone that are unlike anybody I've ever worked with. So there's some true gems at that space that I still know and talk to today. That's how hard we worked in that place. So after that, the chef that was at ESPN took me to Compass Group, and Compass Group is the largest food service company globally. And I stayed there for about 5 years, and then had my son, and needed to really do some things to slow down my lifestyle. So I went back to school to get my teaching degree, and then started teaching culinary arts in Gwinnett County. At Meadow Creek High School. And so from there, I think a lot of things birthed from that experience. All three of my businesses, and minus my catering business, which I had before I started at Meadow Creek, but all the other three birthed from my experience and kind of looking around and seeing where I could be more help to my community. One, make more money. If public school education salaries are not fair and super low, but for the amount of work and passion that goes into that particular career, but then also wanted to be more impactful all around in the industry. So I spent a lot of time, a lot of R&D, a lot of practice, had a lot of great mentors, a lot of people to unlock doors that normally would not be open for somebody like myself. For several different reasons, right? And was able to grow into this space. I left that government job in January of 2020.
So this was before.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna call it the shift. I'm gonna use that word. So before the shift, you got this was spiritual now. Some told you it's time to go.
Get it together.
Wow. Yep. So you left January 2020. You was already up out of the matrix mindset that, okay, I gotta have stability, even though the stability wasn't what you really needed. You shifted your mind before the world was called to shift.
And I thought that was a mistake. I thought that was when I say that to people, everybody goes like, oh man, oh my gosh, because March is when everything shut down.
Right.
And so people say, oh my God, but you're actually the first person to see that as a blessing that it was. right?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Who actually said it. I'm sure people think it, but that was your first initial thought. Like, man, you
Yep.
got here just in time. So
Just in time.
I was fainting. I promise you, I remember the day. I remember where I was. I remember everything when they started shutting things down one by one. Things started shutting down. I remember I was sitting on my couch and I said to myself, "Oh shit, this is I don't know what I'm gonna do," because I had left my government job, my teaching job, and I just had hopped out on a ledge and just said, "You know what? I'm just gonna get this done." And then as programming and things were expanding with the Navigate program, which we'll talk about a little bit later, you know, I was able to go back to that company and tell them, look, I just left my job. They were funding some micro projects for me. And those micro projects were, you know, a supplement to what I was already making at my salary job. So for that salary job to leave, meaning I was going to hustle up and do more of those micro projects. And at that point, it was an in-person thing, a training program that with everything shutting down would halt me being able to continue to do those programs or to anybody have any conversation about any programming, right? So they were generous enough to sponsor me for a year to build my programming, to put some stakes in the ground, to help me fortify the actual program so that when everything opened back up, I was ready. I was ready to go. So
wow.
Kind of how that happened. It was like 1, 2, and 3. And that whole time, I promise you, I can't even remember. I can't even remember that time. It was so much work. I mean, we watched no TV. The whole, my partner and I, who helped me start this whole business. You know, he and I literally sat down and built programming for a whole year and just decided that this is going to be our time of building and regrowth. And so we did that together, and it was a beautiful process.
And this was in 2020.
This is in 2020.
Yeah.
This is in 2020 to 2021.
Wow. Yep. And yes, Chef Simone, I am an advocate for transformation. And I was sharing earlier when I met Adiola, I've always been an advocate for transformation. So when I started my company back when, it was really about helping women transform and get into their purpose, like your divine feminine purpose. Like there's something in your gut that is telling you what you're here to do. And then if you're not doing it, there's going to be something haunting you to say, girl, if you don't get to the work, girl, if you don't do it, you got to do it. You got to do it. You got to do it. Yeah. So when you shared that in January, you got the call, like you released the perceived, comfort or the perceived security, release that so that you could be open to what the most high God, whatever you want to call it. I say God, most high had for you. Then you had to let go, release that so you could get more. It sounds like it worked in your favor because here we are 4 years later, and you ain't missed a beat. I told Adiola, I was like, I'm on my social media, minding my business. I haven't talked to Adiola. Like, what you doing? I'm on my phone. I see you and her.
Yeah.
The first Chef's Academy, the first Chef's. I was like, what is going on? I had to get into the know. And so when she had the Y'all's Kitchen and I saw you and all the partnerships. So it is just amazing. And it's Godspeed. Things move quick, but you have to be ready and in position. So the fact that you and your partner had already had something in the works so that someone could come in and then fund it or provide that extra push so that y'all could bring it into reality. That is amazing. So you were already doing the work. You can't just sit around hoping and wishing for something to happen.
No,
like you have to move with the spirit. You have to be doing the work. Then you can actually get those, that support that you need. So what's going on with that program? How is that going now? So I know that was 2020. Has it evolved? Are y'all still doing it, or did it evolve into something else?
All of those things. It started. The Navigate program started within the high school. And it was really started because I wanted to make sure that the students that I was teaching, that they had something solid post-secondary school. There's always been this, prerequisite that when you finish high school, you go to college. And if you don't go to college, then you failed, right?
Yep. Yep.
In our industry, in hospitality and culinary arts, there's the school of the hard knocks, and then there's the people that go to culinary school, right? And you get to a certain space, and it's like, hey, did you go to culinary school, or are you self-taught, right? And you look and see where people are in the, how much money they're making, or what position they had, or and you try to figure out, hey, is culinary school really worth it, or just getting in there working, right? So you never know. There's been a lot of controversy around the cost of school for culinary school. You see a lot of our local institutions have closed due to financial things, and there was a big pop of energy, with people, and a fad of people going to culinary school, and that got people applying because it was a thing. It was like Hell's Kitchen, and then like Pop and Food Network became more popular. So it was a fad and a trend of going to school, and I think there were some institutions that took advantage of that, and so a lot of the students that I was working with were undocumented. The area that I was teaching was, poverty level or below, Title I high school, fluctuating graduation rates, right? So I wanted to do something in my nucleus, right, of culinary arts to get them a new opportunity. So I was able to reach back out to Compass Group and ask them for an opportunity for my students to come work within their organization. So Compass Group is the Mercedes-Benz Stadium Food Service. It's State Farm Food Service. It is the Georgia Aquarium. It is Coca-Cola headquarters. It is our colleges and universities, Emory, Spelman. So they are doing a lot of food service. And students like mine, even though they're 20 minutes up the street, up the highway from Atlanta, have never been downtown. For what? That's one of the things I asked. I said, you never been downtown? It's 20 minutes. You never went downtown? They were like, for what, chef? Like, there's nothing there for me. And so the exposure piece for those young people is very important. I grew up in a great household. Both my parents are very well educated and provide a great lifestyle for my brothers and I. And so that was something that I experienced that they deserve to experience themselves. And you have to change that socio-economic space for them to be in that space. So my partner and I, Willie Buckley, we wrote this internship program. I had to self-fund it because large corporations like that want to do the right thing, but they have to see statistics. So when you say you're sitting around, you can't sit around. No, you can't sit around. People are going to want to see evidence of your product. They're going to want to see evidence of your work before they decide to invest in it. So there was an incubation period where we basically did fundraisers, selling cookies and lemonades and catering things within the school to raise money to do this program. And we're able to get that program started to where students were going back and forth downtown to satisfy work-based learning or like an early release program, and we're paid. And so our first funder was a Coca-Cola Foundation. They wrote us our first check.
Wow.
To be able to do that. And that was the year before I left the high school.
Wow.
And so when Compass Group saw how the program was running, how successful the students were, they decided to invest on a larger level. And from there, when I said, okay, they're going to do some more micro projects outside of just the high school I was in, that's when I decided to jump from my job and start to try to do that full time. Post-COVID, Compass helped us to set up our fully functioning nonprofit, 501c3. And then we were able to get some seed money. And I was able to hire on about 4 salaried staff and some consulting to help me to build that out to be a sustainable program. Adiola is one of the ones that I brought in to help me build the program out. And so we are now in 17 high schools around Atlanta.
Wow.
We're in Charlotte, North Carolina, in 14 high schools there. getting ready to expand to Chicago and the New Jersey market as well. So doing those programs, not just in high schools anymore, but also in community-based organizations, CBOs, with people that are looking to either transform or coming out of a situation where they need some focus as far as career is concerned. And then in addition to those CBOs, colleges and universities as well. So it's been an awesome journey. We're continuing to grow. We just graduated our 300th student this past May.
Oh,
at the Georgia
wow.
Aquarium. So it's been
Congratulations.
thank you. It's been an awesome journey. It's been an awesome journey. So that's where I am with the Navigate Foundation right now. I know.
What?
I know. Yeah. It's a good
This
thing.
all has happened since 2020. So 2019, I heard you. 2019, you got your first official check. Coca-Cola supported. 2020, this was like your side. So it was like a side business to you working as a teacher. Okay.
Yep.
And then you said in January 2020, okay, I'm gonna take the lead. I can't do this no more. Got in full position. You and your partner. Came together, partnership, come together, support. We call it support.
Yes.
And y'all have done all of that in the span of 4 years.
Yes. Yep.
Take the leap. If you are watching this, have a strategy, be mindful, but take the leap. Do the work, have a strategy, be mindful, take the leap. What?
Yes. And people ask me all the time, like, what was it that you said, go ahead and do it, or, go ahead and invest in yourself. I always ask the question back. Now, if this doesn't work, what's the worst that can happen? You go back and get another job. You go back and apply for another job and go back to work and try it again. There's not, you can't lose. You save your money up as much as you can. Right. And then you make that transition. If it doesn't work, go back to work. Go apply for another job. That's why your education is so important. That's why I'm so happy that my mother made sure that I got my bachelor's degree, because there's always a space to be a teacher or to work at a restaurant or work within a large company like Compass Group or Thompson Hospitality. Right. So, it's like, it's almost foolproof. If you have your education, even if you don't have your education, you can always go and get a job somewhere and find a job. There's always a way to go back and start over. So it's not like an end all be all. It's not simple. It's not easy, but it is something that you can recover from very easily. It is. Yeah.
Wow. That is so. Now, Chef Simone, I ain't gonna lie, I wasn't expecting that, but I had no expectations. I just knew that I needed to talk to you one-on-one. And that is just so amazing. And I can only imagine what this conversation would look like 4 years from now. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Y'all might be,
I can't wait,
all over the world by then.
This is international.
Absolutely. I can feel it. Like the purpose. And I'm thinking of, like, my father's Nigerian. I have some family over in Lagos, and I have a cousin who likes to cook. She loves to cook, and she prepares her dishes. And, since we have social media, you could take your picture and post it and share your recipe. But I can only imagine the doors that could open if she would have access to something like the Navigate Foundation. So kudos to you and to the mission, and just being obedient and really like paying attention. Girl, what you eating over there? I want some. What y'all eating?
No, I'm just having a drink. Y'all just be
thinking about food all the time. So like, girl, what we cooking, what we eating tonight? So on the chef side, so do you have a business where how do you have time for that? Well, let me ask you this. Do you have a business to catering? Talk to me a little bit about your catering business, and do you do the catering or cooking, or do you have a team that does that, or what does that look like?
All of the above. It just depends on when things fall. So we have a catering company called Dishful. It's a boutique catering company. So
nice.
I've had the same clients for years. Very intimate parties. We do custom menus. I have a special program that caters just to educators and schools as discounted pricing. My son, I kind of, not that he had a choice, but because I was a single parent household, anytime that I was starting all these businesses and working late. There's a whole slew of stuff that I left out of my 10 years in education. Beautiful things that I've done. He's been a part of that. So he's picked up the industry, he's picked up the skill. So he's literally like the executive sous of the catering company now. And when I tell you he is good, he is good. He understands, he can make almost everything. He's very, very talented. So he and I have bonded in that way as well.
That's nice.
Yeah. So it's really cool. We do a lot of pop-ups, and then also in addition to that, meal plans as well. So just very boutique style things. And so we've been it's one of those things that we have there. It's always been a steadfast thing. It's been there through all these business moves and stuff. I've always got that business that's right there, and it's about multiple streams of income.
Absolutely.
Making sure that I always have that there, and it's been good. It's been good. It's been a clutch business. It's been a clutch business. Right.
That's
when I'm
fire.
I need a couple more racks. It's holiday time, or we want to do some cooking classes or something like that. I can always go and pull that business to pull in something. So it's been cool. It's the baby. It's the
one that's always been there. That's your
day
son's
one.
Little sister.
That's the day one A1 right there. Day one A1. I'll never take a stick at it. And
I can hear in your spirit. I mean, I'm inspired just sitting here talking to you, Chef Simone. But
Thanks.
The spirit of Atlanta is just coming through, where you have to know what you got. What can you do to make it happen, right?
That's right.
And not necessarily having to my rent due. No. But also having the spirit to say, but if it was due, I could make it twice as full. But then also staying true to yourself and using your gifts. And I think this is relative to the true spirit of Atlanta, like pre-colonization, pre-corporate jobs, quote unquote. Black folks in particular, African Americans, were really good at creating pathways and creating avenues, like on Sweet Auburn Avenue.
We created all this.
We created all of this, okay? Everything. From hair, lashes, food, baking, everything. Yep. And I feel like, and that's why Kendrick Lamar said in his song, They Not Like Us, he said he come to Atlanta when he tried to get a check balance. I was like, well, I came to Atlanta to try and get a check balance, right? Because I knew that in this spirit of the city, and I got roots here, so same old, but still, it's just something about the spirit and the heart of the city. And like hearing you talk about the multiple streams and just always staying on, but then not sitting around. Don't do too much planning, because if you do too much planning, then you won't actually put it into action. So tell me a little bit about the mindset that you have to ground yourself in these multiple businesses, also being a mother. And, you said you had your partner, and I'm sure you have to juggle that. So what is the mindset that you have to keep or ground yourself so that you can keep yourself going? So let's talk about mindset a little bit.
That's a full, short, long question, right?
Okay.
I'm still learning myself. You get into your 40s. I'm still balance is a word. I just had this conversation with my partner the other day. Balance is a quick way to just say, oh, I'm trying to balance everything. I just don't think there's a reality with that. I don't think there's a reality with balance. I think every day something is different. You're giving something 90%, giving something 10%, you're giving something 15, 85, right? You like you're there's always something. It's never 50-50. It's not, it's like because every day is different, especially in the entrepreneurial space. It's always different. My mindset is always, there's been so many people that have been mentors, that have passed on wisdom, that have set a path, set some grounding. And I have so much respect for those people and the energy and the listening to that small voice in my head, right? When I'm going to do something that how dare I not get up and do that? every day. Do everything that I can do every day. It's an everyday thing. And even the everyday thing is chilling out and relaxing for a day. You know what I mean? Getting up and getting that done, or laying down and getting the resting done, right? All of that are things that go into a daily mindset. But I like money. I like money. I like comfort. I take care of a lot of people. I'm responsible for a lot of people. I think that I'm given the opportunities and the resource because I take care of people. And things always, whatever I give, whatever I do comes back tenfold every time. No fail. And I like to be able to continue to be that provider and that nurturer. It's a very natural space to me. It's something that I do for a living. It's something I do personally. And I want to be able to have what I want. I like to travel. I want to drive a certain car. I want my family to have certain experiences. I want my son to have certain experience. I want to live in a certain area. That comes with an investment. And so when you want more, you go get more, and you figure out how to do it in a smart, strategic way within your means, and you just dedicate yourself to it. And it's not the same. It's different every single day. Keeping good energy around you. Good people around you, managing emotions. It's truly a dance. It's a dance. There's no choreography behind it. It's literally just go out there and get it done every day. So my mindset is different depending on how I'm feeling for that day. I have to hype myself up for everything, or hype myself down for some certain things.
Okay.
Feelings hurt in between, so.
Yeah.
Oh,
girl, you so turned. I love this. What's your zodiac sign?
I'm a Virgo, but I got a little bit of Libra in me, just a little bit. So my birthday just passed in September. So
I was just about to say that we're in Libra season now, but you Virgo sun, but you got the Libra in. You just
a little something.
That could help. What if you even into that? I love all the stars and stuff, but it's nice to hear that balancing game. So that's some Libra energy. Like 4 businesses, it's nothing. I could get one more if I needed to, but that's
absolutely.
It's like how much money can I get? Right.
Let's go.
It's so nice. Let's talk a little bit about personal life, right? Okay. So you were saying earlier how you and your partner came together. You're a single mother at the time, so you were like building up your business, and I'm sure your son was a great inspiration and motivation for you to kind of make it happen.
He's expensive. Kids, they want to do sports and that's motivation in itself. Loving, nurturing mother. Like, I want the best for my son. It's like he coming like, Mom, I'm in need. I'm like, okay, let me go get somebody. You know what I mean? So that's a whole different motivation, several different reasons.
That is so nice. Now, with you and your partner, are y'all still together in this time now? Because I know that was years ago, but if y'all are still together, how do you balance that, like nurturing that relationship alongside motherhood and like nurturing your businesses, because you do have like people-centered businesses, which is a blessing, because that's the skill in itself. Like you're actually dealing with people at these businesses, not data, not content. Like I do more creative work, so it's not the same. So that's hospitality in a nutshell. So I guess you're trained in this, but how do you even do that? Like, let's start with the partner first and dating, and then we can kind of segue into that piece, just nurturing all of these different relationships.
All right, let's go.
Let's go. And
I
can give you a background. I don't think I didn't even give you no context. I am a very strong advocate of love of all kinds, self-love, romantic love. I wrote a poem in 2020 about when a Black woman is properly loved, and I believe that love is really a cornerstone of all that we do that can really take us to new heights, right? So when you love your work, you can go to a whole different level. But sometimes as women, especially Black women or African American women, the conversation of love, romance, marriage, and really just having a safe space to rest and feel like you can rest and someone can cover you so you don't have to do it all. I really am an advocate for women being able to have rest and be taken care of, not necessarily be saved by a man, But
No,
to
I hear
have
you.
someone there, because I am happily married, and I realized that we don't see a lot of those images. We see maybe toxic love stories, or like, oh,
Yeah.
she got him, she got rid of him. All of that, that is old to me. That's old
Yeah.
earth. Like, let's
Mhm.
let's be mature about this. And so
Yeah.
I am an advocate for love, or at least creating space for it. So like we're
Yeah.
not working ourselves to the point where we ain't even got time to be loved
Mhm.
on. So that's the
Yeah.
context. So
Yeah.
talk to me a little bit about your partner and how you're able to kind of balance that, or what that looks like for you.
So my partner saved my life. Um Physically, mentally, spiritually. He's been the reason why I've been so productive. This was, you think that you've loved a person or been in love with a person, or had a really great relationship until I met him. And so he covers so much ground in just who he is. That it's something that I'll always give credit to.
Mhm.
I don't pay attention to any other bullshit that people talked about what the norms are for relationships. Our space is beautiful. Our space is chemical. Our space is our own. It's private. It's what we do to make each other feel whole. And so, like I said, my energy my energy bursts with him. To me, every woman needs male leadership. I
Yeah.
don't, and that is my belief. And anybody who says differently hasn't had proper male leadership. It's just that. So
Yep.
I pray for every woman to have the type of leadership that I have, right?
Yeah.
And I had a great father growing up, so my expectations of male leadership are there. And I realize that's something that I do need, even though I'm like, you know entrepreneur, owning this business, doing all that. At the end of the night, I still have to have a soft space to come to, because I'm
Yep.
managing people all day. I'm on
Yep.
conference calls all day, but when I come home, or when I'm at work, because he owns half all the businesses that I have. So
Mhm.
when we're in that space, there's a space to disconnect, the space to connect, and sometimes we never disconnect, right?
Mhm.
And for him, what I had to realize is that that's a lot of hats for him to wear,
Mhm.
because he has to deal woman with a woman's emotion, and also, we have business expectations for each other that we
Mhm.
have to manage. And then, he needs his own space. And
Yeah.
so, and I thought I needed my own space, but my happy space is always with him. But that's woman shit, right? So, you know what I
Right.
mean? So I gotta work on that piece a little bit. But it's been a
So
it's been a
funny.
great it's been a great
Me,
journey for us.
I be like, me too. That
Yeah.
I did not know that was a thing. See, you are enlightening me.
Yeah, bro. I'd be like, oh, you need your own space. Okay. Well, I guess let me go find me another business to open, right?
Me,
So
I started a podcast.
yeah.
Okay, listen.
Yeah, no, I got you. You get
That's
it.
so
You
funny.
get it. You
Let
get
me
it.
find somebody to talk to. I'm gonna start a podcast, and then
Right.
he's
Right.
producing the podcast. So
So
it's
he's
still
right back,
us
pull his ass right back over.
right
Yeah.
here listening right now. Like, dang,
Yeah.
is my sound good? Okay.
Yeah.
I love to hear that. That is
Yeah.
so fire. Yes, my
Yeah.
husband, my man, same here, girl. Because I was always like free spirited, and I think I'm gonna use the word too feminine, meaning I was not balanced, because I did not
Mm-hmm.
grow like my father was not present in the home, and my grandfather, great provider, great leader of our family, but again, he was not there every single day, all day, like
Mm-hmm.
normal, conventional, whatever.
Yeah.
So I had an unconventional background, so I just grew up around a lot of women. It was a very
Yeah.
feminine
Yeah.
life. Feminine. I was with
Yeah.
my grandmother. We shopping
Yeah.
and eating and
Mm-hmm.
shopping and eating. Okay. So I
Yeah.
just really did not have the discipline that I needed to get where
Yeah.
I knew I needed to be. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right. Right.
Nor did I have a reason to turn it on.
Yeah.
Like, why? Like, I could just
Mm-hmm.
go party, I could just hang out. But when I
Mm-hmm.
met my husband or boyfriend at the time, like, when I say I got in formation, I tell everybody that Beyonce song, when she put out Get in Formation,
Mm-hmm.
this was 2016. I know the exact date and time. But when she dropped that song, I felt like she was speaking to the feminine to say,
Yeah.
hey, ladies, let's get information. It's
Yeah.
time to get with your partner.
Yeah,
It's time to get information as a wife, as a mother, as a life partner. It's time to build your businesses. It's time to get in the space of your divine feminine, because this world finna change. And if you're not in formation with your man, with your partner, then you're gonna have a hard time existing. Because the load is heavy. So you're gonna need support. The man needs the woman, the woman needs the man. So I got information. And like you said, I love how you said he saved your life. That is so powerful to say on air. And as a Black woman, holding space for that, the masculine, your man. And I feel the same way, because y'all, I was just living my Atlanta dreams. But then when I realized very quickly, like, okay, I'm ready to be a wife. I'm ready to ground. Like, I just was not, like you said earlier, you had strong roots with your family. I did not really have that. And so I was just a little too floaty. Okay. I was like, I need to be grounded. I need to be home. And I have only felt at home when I'm with him. Like, I never even felt at home growing up. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was at my grandma's house. Like, it's with my folks. But home, I didn't start feeling at home until I met my husband. So I love that for you. And thank you for sharing, girl.
Yeah.
So how do y'all do business together too? Like, talk to me about that.
Man, it is the
y'all getting to it though. It sounds like
what? He's not only he is the smartest person I've ever met. Besides my mom. My mom's the smartest. My mom is the smartest person ever. Like she's a book. My mother's a book. So in his space, as young as he is, he's got so much wisdom, so much perspective, so much poise, right? And so talented and creative all in one space, right? And for me, if I'm going to follow somebody or be in that space with somebody, I have to be impressed with you. I have to be, you know what I mean? You have to be somebody. I'm like, damn, like I want to get a little what you got. You know what I mean? I want to be a little bit closer. I can't be in a relationship next to somebody. I'm like, this fucking dumbass over here. Like, you know, like let me just do what I got to do. And and it's a tough space to be, because I'm already kind of can it be a little bitch in my space? You know what I mean? Because I'm a business person, so and he kind of like ain't even having that. Like this, you know, he'll block me all the way out and do what he needs to do. And I think the lack of his emotion in that masculine space is what I need, because he makes me check myself. You know what I mean? In those spaces, because I'll be ready. I lose my shit, right? And he like this all the time. And even that pisses me off, right? So then as you progress, and I have matured more in probably like the last 5 years than I have in my whole life.
Me too.
Just by checking myself. Like, he'll say to me, "Oh, you just want to argue today." We're not doing that. We're not arguing today. And I can't be like, no, that's not what I want to do. I would be like, yeah, I probably did. Let me just go over here and get myself together, right? So it's been a lot. It's been a lot of that. And so, you know, working together has its own, you know, ebbs and flows as well. You know, there's some great days. There's some arguments. There's some you know, there's days that, you know, he needs something from me, I need something from him. There's days we can sit down and work all day and it's great. Sometimes I'm over here and it's like a really thick tension and we add it, and then
for no reason in particular, girl, Chef Simone, I have to share this story time because you are just so on point. This conversation is so necessary. This is on air. Kid you not, Sunday. So we just had a time Friday, right? We came to the event.
Yeah.
Oh, so much fun. Saturday, I can't even remember Saturday. I think we did grocery shopping, whatever. Also, a great day.
Yeah.
But then Sunday came, and I don't know, I was just feeling a type of way. Like, what are you feeling? And I just felt a type of way. No, nothing happened. Nothing happened. But I was just like,
for no reason.
No reason. This man did nothing at all.
He did nothing to you.
And
he
so
did nothing to you.
What you said earlier, you said you had to check your emotions, girl. I had to check my emotions, and girl, I had to ask ChatGPT. I said, why do I feel that? Like I had these commands. I love ChatGPT. I love AI. Like, so I was able to dissect what I was feeling using AI ChatGPT. And it had everything to do with my nature and his nature. His nature being a Virgo. So Chef Simone, he's a Virgo, and I'm a Leo. And I know that I'm very active and energetic. And sometimes I just have a lot of energy. And I was just like in here, like energy. And then when we came back together, so he does have his own space, right? He does his own thing. But why do I feel a type of way about that? Why do I feel like I got to be right there with all that he's doing at all times? Like what you said earlier. Like, so what am I supposed to do when you're doing your own thing? And I think that's womanhood in a nutshell, right?
Oh, yeah.
And that's why we have to, as a collective feminine, we are more than our jobs, our titles as life partners, wives, mothers. Like, after we take all these hats off, who are you?
Right.
And what do you like to do? And where do you like to eat? And what do you like to do? What are your hobbies?
Right.
So I picked up a new hobby called walking. Okay. I've been walking. I've been getting 10,000 steps in. And I bet you probably already do that naturally.
Just working.
Working around and moving.
Yeah.
And so that has been my new fun thing to do. I just like, let me get my 10,000 steps. And believe it or not, as women, that is something I think we have to be intentional about, which is occupying our time in healthy ways. Because yes, it's very much so easy to go talk about some random with our partner. And then next thing you know, y'all arguing and you just in an emotional thing. But what if you took that energy and gave it back to yourself and did something positive? So that's my latest exercise. I've been getting my 10,000 steps in. Day 10 right now. Okay. There's an app called the Pedometer. It'll naturally track your steps just if you have your iPhone on you. That's a great healthy activity that I've been doing lately. But Chef Simone, since we talk about regulating our emotions as women, because we are women. So yes, it's emotions, it's natural. But what are some things you do to like pour back into yourself? Because it can get it's hard, but we have to be intentional about it. So what are some things you do or even thought about doing or looking to like work on in your own life to focus on Chef Simone, like so that you show up as your best self in your relationship and motherhood and in all of your businesses? Like, what does that look like for you?
Lately it's just been being intentional about downtime because, the last 3 or 4 years has really just been getting these businesses up and running. And so, there's travel and there's rest and then there's leisure cooking. Although I'm doing it as a profession, I try to have small family gatherings at least once a month, if not twice a month. And so, my brother is in the house with me. I have my nephew who just came down to kind of find some focus and got him back into school. So I've got some young energy with me. My son is here. And so, the great thing about what I do, it's not really work. I do what I do for leisure too. You know what I mean? It's program writing, it's working with young people, it's writing curriculums and reading through, certain business journals and keeping myself educated. Right. So a lot of what I do is super fun. Like people say, oh, you need to take a break from work. It's not work to me. This is it's really a passion thing I enjoy. I promised myself that I would never do anything that I didn't enjoy. I wouldn't be anywhere that I want to be. And I'm not. And I haven't. So, it's just there for me, what I mean? And so, on the relationship side, that is one of those things that as we get busier and as these businesses grow, it's not like I'm at home and waiting for, your significant other to get back because they're busy. Right. Or, it's pretty much, we're doing everything together. And then some things apart. And so, I'm just trying to be more intentional of making sure that he has his own space, because he had a prior career to this. So this is his second career, and the thing that he had in his first career is still very near and dear to his heart. It's a passion. It's an art piece. It's a creative piece. So making sure that he has time for that as well, because this shit is consuming. The businesses are all consuming. And so that's been kind of my space of making sure that he has that space, because when he has that space, it also gives me time to kind of separate, which is not my favorite thing to do, right? Because you just, as women, you want to be like this all the time, right? And so that's been kind of just been my practice lately. And I'll say that a breakthrough for us was when I started to decide to be transparent about how I was feeling, because mostly it's just like this tough exterior, and it's like these attitudes, and it's so immature to me to have like these spotty ass emotional times for no particular reason, that you can't just, to me it was just so embarrassing to say, oh, I just had an attitude, I don't know why. You want him to have respect for you. I want him to have respect for me. And a man like him, he's not going to have respect for no bullshit or no something that doesn't make sense, or somebody doesn't know how to express their emotions. So it got to a point, it's okay, you really have to start being transparent, or else you're going to end up losing that respect. And so after I started being transparent about how I was feeling, we were able to, at that point, start to put some, I hate to say this corporate term, but SOPs, standard operating procedures, right?
I do that
how we deal with shit, right? If I
say,
hey, you got to be able to say this, you got to be able to say, and this is all me, because he like this, you know what I mean? And so when he got his stuff too, I got to be like, look, you got to do a little bit more of this, a little bit more of that, because he's a man's man. So there's always that emotional piece that is never enough. There's like so it's a blessing to have someone to talk to, you can communicate with, who you can work with, but it's also a lot of commingling of all that time that gets distorted, and that you have to kind of clear up, and that we have to kind of go into that every like couple of months, to be honest, just as like level set on where we are with everything, because it's consuming. But we living good, you know what I mean? Bills paid.
We eating good.
You know what I mean? Cars driving. Baby.
Looking good. You know what I'm saying? Do what you want when you want. Like, I ain't got to move back nowhere. We ain't at the parents' house. Like, we here.
Nope. And taking care of everybody.
And and that's why I'm so happy to have you here, Chef Simone, because we are really dismantling what image there was of womanhood, and we're reintroducing it. Because this new woman, which is us, everything evolves. Everything evolves. Everything evolves. So why wouldn't womanhood evolve with it? You see what I'm saying? And what I love about the work that you're doing, Chef Simone, is that it is very feminine. Matter of fact, it is rooted in the feminine. The sacral chakra is the orange chakra. So we like energy centers. The sacral is the stomach. That's food. That's food. That's the creative. But you said, I had these businesses birth after my son. You have 4 more businesses. That's where everything flows. All creative energy flows. So I can tell, as a Virgo woman, which is also ruled by the sacral, this creative energy, you are all up in the feminine of yourself. So it's like, this ain't about not being feminine. Matter of fact, I am the feminine. Like, all of the work that you're doing is feminine. And so I just love to hear stories like yours, because I like to dismantle when I say dismantle the patriarchy, I mean women not being able to be women and not being able to be in their fullness by being stripped of their feminine energy just to survive, right? So and I say that, for example, maybe if a woman is working at Walmart, right, and she got to work 12-hour shifts and working at the register, and she ain't getting paid enough to pay her bills, but she got to go to work because she got to take care of her family, right? So those types of roles, it takes the woman out of the house, and she can't afford daycare, but she got to do what she got to do. Or even if she has a partner, but maybe her partner is not as supportive because he got his own things going on. So she got to do it all. And just all them old images. We are dismantling them through the work that you're doing. Go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, you know, I think that a lot of people, and I'm not going to just say women, I think a lot of people have, especially in our minority community, right, have found this celebration in doing things on their own, right? I'm a single mother. I made it. I'm doing this on my own. I don't have any help. And there's this celebration and victimization that exists with that. Because you have a man in the house and some leadership, because you have a stability, does not make you any less celebrated, does not make you any less strong, does not make you more of a woman, right?
True.
It's you are going to have your space and leadership, and just as much as that man leads, that woman is going to be there to support, and that man needs the woman to make things run smoothly. Like it's really a beautiful thing, and it's a natural space.
Yep.
And I think that the celebration of not having men in the household or in that leadership position has kind of diluted the aspect of family.
Yeah.
And then we start to see things change with the children in the household, right? We start to see things changing in society with different things that we're not going to get into today when we don't have that leadership in the house. It is okay to say I have a man who's is in leadership. Or if you don't have a man in leadership, all good, but don't bash the men that aren't there, right? Don't generalize all of the men and all of society, and men ain't this and men ain't that. You've not been able to find your king yet. That's what
there you go.
But that doesn't, you're not any stronger than a woman that's married. You're not.
Nope.
That woman's no stronger than you. And we've just celebrated this individual space when naturally, I'll be overly transparent here. There are times I'm saying I really should not be leading these businesses that I'm leading. I shouldn't be the president of this business. This is too much emotion for me. Yep. I'll go a whole day. I come back broken because I'm naturally a woman. There's naturally an emotional space.
Yep.
Those leadership positions, you can't put emotion in the business. You'll drive yourself crazy.
Yeah.
And naturally, the emotion is going to be there. I'll get off a conference call and somebody said something to me that I don't like, I'm breaking down.
Yeah.
Not that men don't break down or don't have emotions, but it's a different chemistry.
True.
And so I always have to say, like, man, this is why there are not that many women CEOs or not that many women that are in these spaces, because it's difficult and it's unnatural.
It's unnatural.
And it is my space. So I'm gonna say, I shouldn't be here, but I just understand why it's difficult to be in those leadership situations. So I'm just glad I have my partner, because what he's doing is helping to manage those emotions that come with, because like I said, I would not be here. I would not be here without having that management and stability piece. It's just, that's not natural for me to have. So a lot has come from that. I give that a lot of credit, like almost all the credit, because I wouldn't be this strong to be there and to stand all this stuff up. So so a lot stems from there.
That is so fire. Like, because the fact that, and I know that it ain't always been cookies and cream, but y'all hear it now at this point of the timeline, October 8th, 2024, and that's when we recorded anyway, and we're able to have this conversation and just speak from the light side of it. And so, I just think that's phenomenal. So salute to you and your partner. Y'all keep doing what you're doing and keep inspiring us all. To just keep going. And I think I had already asked you about this, but we talked a little bit about self-love and self-care. Do you have any self-care practices that you do or things? I think we talked about, like, you rest, but is there any, I guess, any vain activities that you indulge in, like, I love to do this, or stuff that just kind of makes you feel beautiful, and again, so that you can recharge for Simone? I do. I mean, I have a massage, like I want to say contracts. Yeah, my brain is always subscription massage, membership.
My brain is in business mode. I'm gonna say, I have a contract, but I do have a contract with them, kind of, I guess. But I have a subscription. I do that.
Good.
Travel is big for me. I anytime that I go out of town, either I put a day in the front or a day on the back of that trip.
Okay.
So that I can have time to just chill or go to some restaurants. Or I love hotels. So I love to, stay in a nicer hotel so you can just enjoy being at the hotel, right? So those are those things. Like I said, leisure cooking. There's some other recreational activities that I do to just make sure I keep
it grounded.
Okay, the woosah. Just to make sure everything is correct in that area.
Good.
Like I said, I like to have my family over. I play a lot of spades, and we cooked and eat, and gotten closer with some people in my family that has been really good for me the last couple months in particular.
Oh, nice.
Just reconnecting. And so between the travel and these 4 businesses, that's about it. Like I said, a lot of
that's the whole time.
Yeah, and a lot of the self-love is happening in the business too, because I'm enjoying myself. It's satisfying. It's relaxing. So
because you were a teacher for how long? You said 10 years.
10 years. I was at that school 10 years. There's a lot that happened in that school. Shout out to Gwinnett County because they supported me in all of this. So yeah, for sure.
So it was just so nice to meet you here, right?
Yes,
and
absolutely.
I find myself, like I said, I'm a huge advocate for love. I think since 2020, we've all been called to a higher version of ourselves through love. And so if we weren't doing what we love or treating ourselves with care and, being around people who really love us and not around us for what they can get, I think ever since 2020, we've been on a whole new world. It's a new timeline. And of course, I would meet you at the time that you're in this very high love space for yourself, for your businesses, just for everything that you're doing, because I didn't know you when you were a teacher in that time, trying to break out of this low wage, but high fulfillment, but he's just working so hard. And so I'm happy to meet you here where you are now. And I can only imagine what is coming down the pipeline for yourself and your partner and even your family, your son. It's just powerful. And just even to see when I think chef, because I don't have the formal training at all, but when I think chef, I just think a chef, someone who cooks, right? And that's I think kind of simply about it. But after talking to you and talking to Adiola and just hearing the story of a true chef's journey and hearing how there's so many layers to it, and it's really such a creative industry, and you can make it what you want it to be for yourself, which I guess you do that with any dish you cook too, huh?
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. For sure.
That's cool.
Yes. Chef is more than just there's so many different facets behind it. The industry is huge. The industry is huge.
And it sounds like it can take you places. Like it can take you far. And then the fact that you centered your heart in 2020, which is the time that the whole world was mandated to center your heart. And then you found yourself on the side of impact, which then it carries on through other people's stories and their families, and just really just changing the trajectory of reality because of your obedience. So that is so inspiring. And before we wrap up, Chef Simone, if you could just let everyone know how they can reach you, if they want to talk to you or invest in support by way of donating to some of your organizations, how can they do that?
I'm on Instagram as Chef Simone Byron. The handles for all the businesses are exactly their names. So it's Navigate Foundation. There is the Chef's Academy, ATL, which is in Tucker. And then we have Dishful Thinking and that's on Instagram as well. And then Byron Hospitality, which is my hospitality consulting company. So all of those handles are on Facebook as well, just spelled straight out exactly how they are. And so please reach out, please support any needs for consulting, recipe, menu development, training for your staff or for yourselves, cooking classes for yourself or your children or your mother and father, anybody will be coming up. Please look for events for that. And then support Navigate Foundation. We are sending students overseas next summer. We did the overseas trip this last summer before. So I'm getting ready to start doing a huge fundraising for that. And just appreciate any support anyone has. And thank you for the platform.
Absolutely. Thank you
Yes.
so much for sharing your story with us.
Thank you.
And with that being said, you have just witnessed yet another inspiring conversation for women making an impact in the community. I'm your host, Goddess Giselle. Thank you so much for tuning in, and be sure to like, share, and subscribe. And talk to you next time. Bye.
All right. Bye-bye.